I want to take you on the journey. That was me trying to be the person that like cracked the case of Final Destination. Because I was like, this can't just be a coincidence that 5 years after this post is made, 3 months before I record this episode, someone found the fact that there's a German plane engine model with this same name. So I'm Googling, I hit another dead end, and then I find out that there is a German plane called the Messerschmitt Bf 108 Tailfun. And it was used during World War II. And I was like, oh my God, there's got to be a story behind this plane that's like Final Destination-esque. That is the whole inspiration of this movie. So I'm like 10 Wikipedia pages deep at this point to try to find like some crazy story about this plane. And I find one.
Oh my God.
It's called the Mechlin incident. And when I saw it, I was in shock. So I'm reading about this incident and it happened. This is a real thing that happened in 10 January in 1940 at the start of World War II. So there was a German aircraft and it had an officer on board and he was carrying top secret plans for a mission called Fall Gelb or Case Yellow. And I'll talk about what that mission was in a little bit. What caused this incident was that the person flying the plane, he got lost in a dense fog and he tried to turn around to find like the River Rhine, but he had already passed it, so he couldn't find it. So he's circling up in the air, and as he's circling, he accidentally cuts the fuel supply to the engine by bumping a lever in the cockpit. And because of this, the plane is forced to crash land in Belgium. As it crash lands, both wings are ripped off by trees and the plane's stuck there. The reason the pilot and this major were even in this plane together at the first place was this major had to go to a staff meeting the next day and he was at a bar drinking, and this guy was like, oh, hey, I'm flying there in a day too because I have to get some more flying hours in and my wife's over there and she needs me to return some laundry. And also, like, when I see that he was in this plane because of laundry, I'm like, laundry. I'm spiraling so hard. It's all connected. So this interrogation and the paperwork falling into enemy hands, it caused the Germans to call off the initial invasion that they planned, which you'd think like, okay, awesome, like a win. The Germans didn't get to do what they wanted to do. However, what actually happened is when the real invasion came on 10 May in 1940, the Germans had so fundamentally changed their strategy that what resulted was this incredibly quick a swift fall of France. So whereas had they done the original plan, it's not so certain that Germany would have won there. So like death was paused, but it came back in the end, which is wild.
It's wild, and it also gives a lot of credence to my theory that it hasn't been death this entire time, it's been France.
Oh my God, you're so right. This involves France. It must be. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, holy cow, do we think that the person who wrote Final Destination had this incredibly niche knowledge of, you know, this crazy German Final Destination-esque story that like involved France in all of this, and like I just uncovered it? Or right at the end of all of this, I find that Taifun means typhoon in German. And
Oh, no.
I think it's far more likely that there just happened to be a fan and a plane, both named Typhoon.
No.
Listeners, you tell me, is the fan name just Typhoon, just like the German plane? Or did a director of this movie know this crazy Final Destination story and chose to make it a thing?